Aloha and welcome back to the channel. This is Marissa Indigo with Divine DNA Blueprint, and I have been shown to do kind of a review of the year of 2023 to support us in this time of preparation for 2024 and beyond. And I realized that the best way to kind of go in depth in a succinct fashion of so much of this year is to actually just go through the video lists on my channel. Because this channel is a public offering and a living library, of information and data streams, this seems to be the most beneficial way to rapidly share a lot of information and also the resources that are available if you happen to miss anything that was offered throughout the year to go back and check it out. So without further ado, let me share my screen. And welcome to the channel. Okay, so we're gonna go back here, earlier in the year. Okay, so it starts with the 2023 annual plasma stream, the quantum energy report for the year. And so we want to just review the elemental quality of the year, first of all. For me, this water year has been phenomenal. It's been the most emotional year, emotionally centered year, a lot of clearing, a lot of revelation about the power of emotion, activations about becoming feelers again, starting to activate and trust our inherent primordial sentience, this consciousness that we have that comes through the body, through our senses, through our engagement with our environment and our atmosphere, all of these things. So first off, that's huge. If you're still not comfortable with your emotions, that's okay. It's about getting in tune with the heart, getting in touch with the heart. And if you see here as we go throughout the year, we continue to provide time after time opportunities to go deeper into the heart. So in the new year, we shared this, everything is a lie, now what? And this is part of the matrix collapse process. When we're going through hardcore deprogramming phases, there's a lot of revelation and a simplification of our existence, our relational perspective to reality, to ourselves, to others in divine relationship. And there's this huge simplification, and with this there can be some disorienting kind of experiences as well, and we do build upon those even more throughout, but we really support you to weigh out, is this scary or exciting? Really play with your psychology in the deprogramming processes, because ultimately it's about liberation, an expansion of consciousness, a unification of yourself with more aspects of yourself to love that in turn love you, coming into greater harmony and joy. And again, liberation, key code there, the freedom codes. So then we go into why confusion is positive, liberation, spiritual awakening. This is supporting you in going even deeper from a linear process way of analytical thinking and basically being left brain dominant, right? Which is the analytical and kind of computational robotic form of mind. It's where we're regurgitating. We're not really receiving a lot of new information, right? It's very much analytical. It's like Spock, right? Most illogical, right? And it serves a purpose, but it also, if we only operate out of one half of our greater functioning, then we're definitely missing out on the more quantum process, more of the spirals and flows and the flow states, right? Instead of boxes or linearity. So that's a huge one to assist. Then we start getting into the diamond codes and diamond light activation, diamond sun. Living is energy. We talk a lot about the effects of the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and how the last few years we're continually having these amplifications of electromagnetic energy running through our nervous systems, and what that does to us psychologically, what it does emotionally, what it does the ascension process wise of further deconstructions of old belief systems and emotional purging. There's a lot going on. And so this is really supportive to assist you in the conscious use of life force energy. And we talk about the Tai Chi Gong practice. Almost, I think every video in the library has a link for you to sign up for free with Master Lama Rasaji at the Circle of Chi to learn these exercises and to connect with the energy all around you, all around your environment, the elements, the elementals, nature, these different beautiful sources of energy that are all around us to assist us for greater balance and harmony and grounding. We talk a lot about shedding family karma. There's a lot going on right now as the year wraps up with Chiron going direct. That's our inner wounded healer, these wounded aspects of ourselves that perhaps in the past were more noxious or toxic. We were operating from this wounding unconsciously. And the last full moon of the year was in Cancer. So that's all about the inner child, the wounded child, the inner magical divine child. These different elements of a wisdom keepers. There is the saying that children are closer to God, right? And then as we get older, I say that a lot of times the imprinting, the societal programming, the karma we came to clear can sometimes muddy our connection to source, to divine, to that sparkle of joy, that innocence and purity of the inner child that we all have. We all have this connection. So we go into shedding family karma and taking action in your life to level up. Also, this process activates new gifts, right? And then we start to go into embracing living as a soul. So we're working with water, we're working with the emotions. We're starting to see as we're going through this process, ooh, wow, spending more time in my heart is actually bringing up these programs and these beliefs and these stories and these situations and this, horrible thing that happened with this person or whatever, these betrayal pieces. It's all about taking the unconsciousness and bringing it into consciousness. So again, in all of these videos, these topics, we share tangible, practical steps on a multidimensional level to assist you in your expansion and greater liberation from suffering, to embrace, make more space, right, for joy and happiness. So then we start talking about in March, the light amplifying, starting to work with the power of Pluto. And Pluto is going to be huge in 2024. Pluto on January 20th moves out of Capricorn and goes into the sign of Aquarius. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. What happened in 2008? From there to now, major structural changes. Remember the massive economic collapse that happened in 2008, and that had to do with systems that were faulty, that were not of integrity, imploding upon themselves, and it did affect, many, many people, many different systems. So Pluto is huge and powerful, all about transformation and revelation.
Hey everyone, I got so excited and I didn't have any notes because I just was inspired to do this. So I want to make sure that I'm very thorough when I talk about Pluto and what's going on. On January 20th of 2024, Pluto is going to go into the sign of Aquarius, the sign of the people, the sign of humanity, the sign of technology and technological innovation. The age of Aquarius, right? The dawning of the age of Aquarius is officially beginning. So when we look at the effects of Pluto going through Capricorn, Pluto is essentially blowing up all of the different industries and systems of the matrix that were not serving the people. As Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's power to the people. And we're going to see some very interesting splits of humanity. Those that want to continue in the same narrative, trajectory, timeline of the matrix style of living are going to go even more deeply into that. We're already seeing that with the AI, virtual reality, these people that want to live forever and are becoming more cyborgs or bionic. There are going to be people where that is their religion. They love it. They love this. It's exciting to them. It's their domination over natural forces, essentially, right? Then you're going to have people that are going to be like, oh, I'm totally done with the Matrix. And it's funny because last night my daughter and I were watching the movie Office Space. It's one of our favorite movies. And you think about the character Peter, where he goes under hypnosis and he's like, I just don't care. I don't want to go to work. It doesn't make me happy. I don't like it. I don't think I'm going to go anymore. You're going to start seeing that naturally happen to masses of people where they're like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting all of my energy in this? I want to do this instead. And you're going to see humanity embracing their divinity, their creativity, nature, back to nature, off grid, communities, like all kinds of more of a bohemian, the new era, the new epic, more of a barter system as well. Independence from all of the systems, right? Natural medicine, growing your own food, having your own herbal tinctures, all of this coming back to the land, a resurrection and revival of our ancient indigenous pagan roots. And it's amazing what's going to start happening here. So I want to make sure that, yes, when we talk about Pluto and Capricorn, it's a different system, it's a different energy. Capricorn rules structures and systems, right? And calendars and all of this kind of the legal systems that we see, right? The financial system. So you think about these structures that are very ancient and they are held in place by a house of cards that essentially is not based on anything of integrity, right? Anything of sustainability, right? So I just want to make sure, I don't want anyone to be concerned because it's a very exciting time for planetary liberation again. And on January 20th, Pluto goes into Aquarius for 9 months. Then at the end of the year, he actually goes back into Capricorn for a little bit. And then Pluto is officially in Aquarius for over 20 years. So this is a huge cycle of an up level for humanity and everything that we are all working towards, and this new golden era that many of us came encoded with, that we have been sharing about, talking about, connecting with New Earth. It's going to start to become more real for everybody. So just wanted to interject that here, and we will carry on. But that's why it's so important that you start to get acquainted with the planets in your chart and your Pluto. Own your Pluto. This is your Phoenix energy, your transformation, your soul alchemy, your inner shaman. And it's a very powerful energy. Also of catharsis, where are we giving power over to programs, to psychosis, giving power over to other systems outside of ourselves that we've given authority, to anything outside. So it's a huge reclaiming of our sovereignty. So I highly recommend, again, the True North ebook. I also have courses here. You'll see any of the videos where I talk about Pluto, I link to the mastery course if you want to go deeper into that 2-hour class where I walk you through the chart. I show you my chart. I'm very intimately acquainted with Pluto. We've been dancing my whole life, and finally coming into a much more constructive place as I understand this energy, right? As we decompress ourselves from victim consciousness, we start to see, oh, everything is here to assist us in getting stronger, more wise, more connected, more empowered, more full of love and light. And it's the deep shadow work, right? We have to integrate our shadow to become whole, right? Love the shadow. So thank you, and let's proceed.
Personal magnetism as well. And so you really want to get acquainted with your Pluto. And we have multiple resources to assist you with that. These videos covering Pluto, of which there are several, sharing how to work with this as an ally, as an elder, right, in the cosmos, this planetary body, how it translates to our own psyche, emotional process, empowerment, victim consciousness, shamanic ego death, like all these different layers. We have courses also to work in depth with your own natal birth chart. These are all listed under the corresponding videos. Let's see, getting into the eclipses. We talk about the eclipse energies. Those are always helpful to go back every year. We have typically 2 windows, right? 2 bookends of 4 eclipses. Some years we do have 6 eclipses, which is quite wild. But we had the eclipses in April of this year and then October, November of this year. Let's see, navigating dimensions within mind, emotions, body, and soul. Okay, so this video, I was actually in the forest and I was streamlining feeling Uranus and how we're going to continue to work with the planet Uranus as it comes in as a force of photonic light and God consciousness that destabilizes the current systems and the old matrix processes that are in the process of destabilization and dissolution right now. So that might really assist you to learn how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Very, very important. Let's see. Super being codes of May were really beautiful. More about Jedi super beings. In May of this year, I also was initially given the download that we're going to be starting to form communities online to support, and those have finally come into fruition. I'm so excited. Just the end of the year, November and December, there are multiple opportunities if you want to go deeper in a private setting, because there's only so much we can discuss on a public platform such as this. Things have to be very encoded so that we can keep the channel alive as a living library for you all. So there are opportunities to work together privately in sacred community, and those will be listed here also on the channel if you want to check those out. We have introductory rates for both. It's only $3.99 for your first month if you want. So check those out. There's 2 different forms of communities to get in touch and go more in depth together in a private setting. Then we talk in depth about the crystalline codes, the diamantine codes in June. This is really wonderful to start to apply these processes. We share about numerology. If you have downloaded my gifted ebook, The True North, it's an ascension manual to support you to see the compasses that you came in with pre-installed actually through 5 different systems in your birth birth chart. So we look at numerology, we look at your Western zodiac birth chart, we look at human design, and a couple of other systems in this gifted ebook. It's a resource to assist you to start to see. Oh, also Mayan galactic astrology. So you're looking at your beautiful aspects and your chart with these different allies and hidden helpers, and also different things you came in to master from a galactic perspective, from the Mayan perspective. So the intent with this ebook is to assist you to go really deeply and start to see, like, okay, I have these callings on my path, these mystical callings, these dreams, these ideas, and they're so fantastical, that the real world, the old world, old paradigm makes me feel like maybe I'm crazy for entertaining these ideas or these desires or these callings. And these are actually stirrings of the soul, right? So this book, The True North, assists you in decoding things as simple as the numerology of your birth name and your birthday, starting to look like, oh my gosh, everything in my reality, when I actually look at it and do a little deep dive investigation on a metaphysical level of everything in my reality down to my name and the numerology corresponding to my name and my birth date, things like that, all is showing me these patterns that are matching my soul calling. It's powerful stuff. So I created this book because for me, it was a huge reconciliation of the inner world and what I was receiving inside versus all this other external information, right? Trying to tell us who we are or keep us on a certain narrative, right? So the divine numerology and the divine triangle with Pythagoras is a video. There's a course, really powerful. A lot of these videos are an introductory concept that you can take and run with and explore on your own. And if you want to go deeper, there is a mastery level course corresponding to that. And before I forget, since we're talking about courses, this brings us to the Mystery School. All the courses on the Mystery School are 50% off through the end of the year. So it's midnight on the 31st of December. All the details are also in the video with the coupon code. It's just 2023. The number is 2023. But all courses are 50% off if there's anything that you're like, oh, I would like to explore that more in depth and investigate that. Okay, now June to July started to get really interesting because we were brought into the plasma realms and these prism realms. So that's very interesting. It's teaching you how to look at your reality as a fractal, like you would through a crystal or a faceted gem or like a disco ball, right? There's all these different facets reflecting light, reflecting realities and stories and all kinds of things. And so it's teaching us how to have a multidimensional perspective and way of looking at everything in our reality so that you can make the most of your experience and what the reflections are showing you, teaching you, inviting you to transcend or transmute or transform. Enhancing psychic abilities. This was a transmission from the Syrian Lyran overlight, a beautiful council of light that is part of our makeup. And this again, emotional processing. A lot of us went through trauma, and that trauma actually kept our psychic faculties intact because we needed them to survive. If you don't have the most cushy and comfortable atmosphere as a young, vulnerable child growing up, a lot of your higher faculties are already in operation because it's how you survived the initial life to get to this next phase, exiting the matrix. But I show you, we talk about that, like how do we enhance our psychic abilities? It's actually a lot easier than you would think, than any of us would conceptualize. The aqua ray transmissions, these beautiful Christed freedom codes, powerful. What's the freedom in your life? Where are you still perhaps struggling with concepts of freedom or expanding liberation and freedom in different aspects of your life, relationships, expressions, different things? Hmm. Sorry, I get thirsty there. Okay, then we talk about the lunar shift of the nodes of fate. The celestial lunar dragon lunar shift, that's the Aries Libra axis. Very, very fascinating because as the moon shifts every 18 months, we are learning new lessons on the cosmic clock where the dial is shifting and we are learning, activating. So right now it's all about where the head and tail of the dragon are. How does that impact what we're called to do? This is future life versus past life, finding that midpoint, really working with that, right? We talked deeply about healing anger, the quantum heart of the lion, activate your emotional superpowers. So again, the focus of this year was really about the waters and emotion and the sacred heart, the deep caves of the heart, the rose path, all these different ways of getting more acquainted with our authentic self through our emotions, through our heart space. because we're going to need that information for 2024 and beyond, right? You have to be aligned with yourself and know and trust, honor yourself, trust your universe, trust your wisdom and your guidance in order to move forward. And if that's still tricky for you or it's completely new, wherever you are on the spectrum of the ascension process, this entire library is here for you as a resource to go deeply into these different topics. We talk about weather grid working, getting to know your body elemental and connecting even more with the weather grids. There's whole crystalline grids of the etheric elemental realms that are the weather. So you think about like the cloud people, right? And the wind currents and all of this. That's really fun. We talk about Mercury and how it's really, really important now that all of us deprogram that it's an inconvenience. Mercury retrograde is actually assisting us to calibrate ourselves out of more of a linear analytical process into more of a perceiving, receiving information, quantum flow, completely being open to the quantum entanglement that you can just reach and get ideas, just pull them right out of the ether for creativity or solutions to different things that you're working on or questions that you have. So this is really to support you in like, getting over dreading Mercury retrograde. There's a lot of cultural stigma like, oh God, here we go again. Like, get ready for everything to go to shit. And actually, it's the opposite of that. It's to receive downloads and to actually more easily engage yourself with source level, divinity level consciousness, a much more expanded state of consciousness, which comes from when we are unified in both parts of our brain, right? Not just the linear side, right? Let's see. House blessing rituals and working with the energy of your space is always really fun. Really big on rituals. In September, we went even more deeply into massive parts of deprogramming, to realign, to rebirth yourself, and to recreate entirely new realities. We have an amazing activation as well for the spine that came through the solar rishi and the Arcturians to work with sunlight in your spine to assist you also in deprogramming old and expired beliefs. Let's see. Talk about the eclipses. That's always beneficial. Um, these beautiful pure messages too of inspiration and just pure frequencies of rebirth codes. We were starting to see at the end of the year, and this incredible visual that came through with the Andromedans and the Pleiades was this star mother visual that the precious souls of every man, woman, and child are being birthed now. So people are coming into their hearts. They're doing what's, the heart work. Initially, it is challenging because we have to go through layers of all the heavy stuff we've been carrying around, walls around the heart, things like that. In order to get into the deeper spaces underneath and to feel the purity of the love, you have to, it's like layers. It's like an onion, a lotus, an artichoke. You have to keep pulling back the layers, work with them one petal at a time. But the ultimate beautiful image that we received is this transmission that everyone is in various phases of rebirth, of sacred remembering, of embodying their soul. And it's very precious, and it's very precious and vulnerable, like a newborn baby, would be this beautiful process. And so it's really about having compassion, gentleness, tenderness, committing to whole new levels of self-care this year, now going into 2024, on an emotional level, physical level of self-care, nurturing, really listening to your sensory needs. And if you need quiet, have some quiet. If you need to not talk, then take a break from talking. Conversely, if you want movement and stimulus and activity, go for it. This is really, really powerful for us to start to realize and work through our reality from this elemental perspective. What am I feeling in this now? What would I desire in this now? And that's part of that purity of the child's inspiration as well. Eclipse integration. We talk about the halls of Amenti, more massive deprogramming. So the majority of my work is all about deprogramming, right? And then we get these like yummy desserts, sprinkles of activations and codes from the different realms of light that give us information. So it's like we get goodies for all the hard work. But the majority of my work is about that hard work of clearing ourselves so that we can be more emptied and more ready for the new, the true, the authentic, the highest frequencies of inspiration and divinity to come forth, and our expression, our authentic expression as creator beings. So we have to be willing to cut away, anything that's in the way of our highest, most authentic, divine, liberated expression, right? A huge part of that is uplevel your Mars. This was massive, a 2-year quantum jump off expansion when Mars went into the sun. So when a planet goes what's called Kazemi, it's an Arabic word that means to go into the heart of the sun. And so Mars is all about our action, and it's the representation of the divine masculine form. So action steps and other forms of the divine sacred masculine from an earthly or a Terran perspective. How does that look on the material plane? How do we raise the levels of that, right? So it's a really powerful deprogramming of looking at Aries only and Mars energies only as like the god of war. And that's one of the tasks that some of our star family have encoded me with to bring forth, is this opportunity for us to up level the Mars octave, to take it out of a war zone, because that's a program, and actually, balance that out with the sacred feminine. So balancing the fire and the water to have a much more balanced and precious and sacred society. So we are evolved past war, right? It is an era of not only peace, but incredible creativity, innovation, technological advancement, light body creativity, like just so much amazing expanded information. So that's really important to find out where your Mars is in your chart and work with that. Again, anytime we talk about any of the planets here, all you have to do is go to the Mystery School website and download that. It's a free gift for you, the True North ebook. I show you how to find your planets in your chart, just to start with the very basics. We talk about the timeline split that we're still in right now from the 11/11 until at least January 20th. Now it's really till February that this massive portal is happening. This is a huge time that we're in right now of a complete life review, internal inventory, what's no longer true for you, what are you committed to, what are you going to allow yourself to do that you never did before, perhaps because there were hangups like, oh, it's not productive, or it's not practical, or I can't make money at it. We had so many ways of validating these different intuitive impulses that come to do something, and actually that's our source, that's our divine like telephone line ringing saying, hey, do this, call this person, try this out, go there, explore this, research this. Like, these impulses that come through, we're learning how to trust them. And so this is a massive time right now that we're in. And so I guess that's why we were shown is like review the whole year to show everyone how big the year was. Any places where you're like, oh, I could use some more digging in on that or clearing on that, go for it. And we're almost to the end now. So the December quantum energies is really important because right now we're in the sacred season of light, and it's all about embracing a new story. We are creating a new era. We are birthing it ourself, through the embodiment of our soul. And it's a very sacred, precious, sometimes tender. Again, there's a lot of emotional clearing right now. There's a lot of inner child wounding coming up for the collectives right now. And for individuals who aren't like clued into the astrology on a daily basis to know what's coming, it's a lot. So hang in there. Continue to be tender with yourself, and just know that we have these beautiful supports to wrap up the year. This is a wonderful activation to feel the love of Divine Mother, this beautiful conversation, bridging heaven on earth and embracing the cosmic Sophia Christ within that I did with Sherry Lynn. And we are hosting a new community together. So when I talk about different memberships, you'll be seeing more of her with me on the channel, because we are launching into a whole new support. It's called Everything is Sacred, and it's very measurable, joyous, easy, tangible means of embracing more of the sacred in every part of our life, right? So that we're no longer separating off and only focusing on the sacred when we're maybe, on a special ritual call or a ceremony, or only one particular date, there's this Stargate, so I'm gonna, it's like, no, we're bringing this behavior, we're bringing this embodiment of this higher self, soul expression, your divine self, into everything that we're doing. Everything is sacred. So keep your eyes out for that. There will be details on that again in the description box. And to end the year, this beautiful daily glow up here. This came through, this diamond dust light code, and it's a glow up light installation for you to just connect with the inspiration and the love and the higher light within, and amplify it and amplify it and amplify it and radiate it through your being, so that you're starting to connect even more with yourself as an energy being. having all of these experiences, having a physical body and having all of the human ways of looking at things and feeling things. And then the higher mind and more divine source aspects and elemental expressions that are very primal and primordial. We are energy, and it is an amazing soup of all kinds of things going on often at once. So it's a lot, but it's amazing. So enjoy. And the last thing I forgot to mention is the wonderful activation, the Divine DNA Blueprint Architect Codes. It's an amazing activation to teach you how to align and build your realities from as an architect of light using sacred geometry and to align with your highest, most integrated, most whole form of yourself. So you're not scattered or you're not leaking energy, wasting energy, like looping something, negative that happened. We're bringing it all into the now and aligning, amplifying our frequency in order to then have an amazing day. So it's like, you have your cup of coffee or your tea or whatever your ritual is in the morning to start your day, right? To get aligned for your day, to have a productive day, ideally a happy day. And so this architect codex activation is also very supportive. So enjoy all the information here, enjoy the activations. There's a lot of support here. If you want to go deeper, we have the ability to do that through the Mystery School site itself, and sessions too, if you're interested in that kind of, deeper one-on-one focus. So I'm just wishing you an amazing end to this year, and I will see you soon because we're going to start talking about 2024. We're going to start talking about the wood dragon, but we want to wrap up these energies first, right? So enjoy where you are and take plenty of time away for yourself. Know that many people are new to emotions and can be very emotional. They may not know how to communicate their emotions yet. They may be just brand new to even feeling them, and that could be true for you too. So just take your time, trust your feelings, be tender with yourself, be kind and gentle to yourself and others at this time, and just keep asking, what do you have to show me today? How can I receive and experience the most beautiful and divine and soulful and just so much information that is supporting my growth and my love and my trust and my health, like really focus on what are you committing to for yourself in this new year and invite opportunities and wisdom streams to pour forth for you. Invite them every day into your daily experience and watch them show up, and make sure you have plenty of journals ready to write down your realizations, the gifts, the manifestations as they come. And thank you so much for being a part of this channel and for an amazing and wild year. And we will see you soon. All right. Much love.